Nobel laureate Derrick Walker, who is due to stage a play here, says the NCC is a dump. There is calm in the fishing sector. The Fish Market Corporation makes good on its payment promise. And meet the Fantastic Eight of Groseley. The language was strong, the message direct. St. Lucia needs to do more to nurture the arts if rewards and gains ought to be derived from the creative industries. The island's second Nobel laureate minced no words in telling that efforts thus far are a far cry from what should really be invested. Hello everyone, welcome to the CTV News on Calabash TV. I am Lucia Joseph. For Honorable Dirk Wolcott, the conversation is nothing but a boring, repetitive, ignored truth by the authorities. More scholarships for the arts must be awarded, he says, if St. Lucia is to have an awakening. The renowned poet made the comments at the press launch of his latest play, O Starry, Starry Night. More on that in a moment. First, the Nobel laureate has again reiterated his displeasure with the National Culture Center, calling it a dump.
How can we have a dump like what is the National Cultural Center? It's a dump. And yet we invite great artists to be there. I've had Arthur Miller here, I've had, and we should be embarrassed. If we had a house like that, we wouldn't bring anybody inside it. But this is a public monument of a building, and it is a disgrace that it should have been there for so long. When if you go to the toilets, you wouldn't stay. You can't go to the toilet. I couldn't. We have a huge convention of academics. Where are they going to go? Embarrassing. You can't host people under such conditions. You can't say you don't have the money. People like Paul Simon or Arthur Miller or whoever else comes here, and I take them to what is supposed to be my prime building, to the great dump. I'm embarrassed.
The acclaimed St. Lucian also suggests that government spends money on infrastructure for the arts, where creativity can truly be enjoyed, as well as a museum. Upon his Nobel Laureate Award in 1992, Derrick Walker began plans with the government of the day for the Rat Island Foundation. 21 years later, nothing concrete has come of it.
But I'm getting very, very tired of it now. The failure of it, or the inaccessibility of it. You see, my answer to all of these questions now, especially at a press conference, is I don't know why. I don't know why there's not a building in St. Lucia that can at least be the equivalent of any one of its artists. I don't know why. The only answer is money, but I see things going up, that are built from money. So it may be a blanket condemnation of the island as a cultural, desert.
With optimism, the Nobel laureate says it doesn't believe that the local cultural landscape is barren because it has proven otherwise.
You had 4 books of poetry published this year by reputable poets, by MacDonald Dixon and Kendall Hippolyte and Robert Lee. You have 4 or 5 practicing, talented writers, even if there's no publication, So it's maybe because the artist goes on in defiance of being ignored, that people take it for granted that there will be art.
The Labour Party, in its blueprint for growth, promised a more focused approach to the arts and creative industries, as well as a new home for stagings. And as you heard earlier, Honorable Derrick Walker is bringing his play, O Starry, Starry Night, home. It is the first staging in the Caribbean. It was the first showing was in London at the Lakeside Theatre in Essex. The production coincides with the 16th Triennial Conference of Association for Commonwealth Literature and Language Studies. O Starry Starry Night drew rave reviews in Essex when staged earlier in May. Nobel laureate Honorable Derrick Walcott and the production team in St. Lucia, led by Adrian Auger, is hoping for an even greater response to the dramatic play that tells the story of two exceptional painters, the Dutchman Vincent van Gogh and Francis Paul Gauguin. The play traces their turbulent relationship and fight over a prostitute. The cast consists of some of the biggest names in international theatre, with a St. Lucian taking on a leading role.
The staging of the play coincides with the 16th Triennial Conference of the Association for Commonwealth Literature and Language Studies, and so we will have in our midst on opening night and thereafter approximately 150 academics from the world of universities and research and publishing and so forth. So we have quite a distinguished audience with us. Regarding the cast for the production, we have a wonderful cast comprising the actors who took part in the original production of Essex. And of those, we have leading lights like Wendell Man Warren and Brian Green and Nigel Scott from Trinidad, who are all familiar with Derrick Walker's work and have had a long-standing working relationship with him. Those persons are joined by our leading female actress, Natalie Laporte, who will play the part of Lot.
Natalie Laporte has worked with Nobel laureate Derrick Walcott on a number of occasions. However, this play gives her an opportunity to further explore and develop herself as an actress.
It's a pleasure working with someone who's one of our very own, which is special for me. But it's special for me every single time because his vision exceeds what an ordinary person, an ordinary writer would. And he always pushes us ever so gently to get to a place of real excellence. And just when you think you have it, just when you think you're at that place where you're happy and he's happy and the producers are happy, everyone's happy, like, I don't know, maybe put her hair back a little bit. I don't know. So it's fun, and I think as an actor, it's part of what I enjoy about my job, is being pushed to the next level and feeling myself grow all the time.
The renowned poet and playwright says he was excited to work with local talent again.
When I work with these actors, I don't feel as if I'm lowering my standard or trying to accommodate. What I feel is great respect for their talent. And in some cases, the talent is better or as good as anything I've worked with in New York or in London. So Natalie is one of them, and I'm very happy to work with her.
O Starry Starry Night is for a mature audience with themes of life's struggles, dreams, and the battles over morality. For Derrick Walcott, it represents capturing the essence of historical figures that perhaps unknowingly changed the world.
Gauguin is, in a sense or in reality, a third world painter. He moved away from the idea of Paris being the center of the world, and he thought it should be next door in Martinique, not because it had cities and all that, but because he felt that there would be a new way to look at painting from the tropical perspective and from the vibrations that you get from the tropics.
O Starry Starry Night will be staged August 8th to 10th at Salmons Park. A number of corporate entities are sponsoring the mega event, including First National Bank, Warwick Productions, Landmark Creations, St. James Club, British Airways, the Government of St. Lucia, and Lime. The telecommunications company says supporting the artistic expressions of one of the world's greats is a thrilling honor.
We do so much work in arts and culture, obviously, with St. Lucia Jazz, with St. Lucia Carnival, and with the Journée Creole, and a number of other artistic and cultural expressions. But we recognize the sort of quality, and the Honorable Derrick Walker spoke a little bit about the recognition of quality in his remarks today, and we recognize the quality that is embodied in anything really that is put out by the Honorable Derrick Walker. We've done a lot of great work with him over the years, of course appearing on the phone book and working and getting the sign up on Derrick Walker Square. And it's never too much, really, to do something that involves Derrick Wolcott. This new play appears to be another blockbuster. It appears this is going to be another great hit. We look forward to a fantastic reception from the St. Lucian public, and we are absolutely thrilled at Lime to be part of this particular initiative.
Still with the creative industries, as Derrick Walker held the press launch for his All-Star Starry Night production, the Ministry of Tourism, Heritage, Creative Industries held a press conference of its own. The Ministry of Creative Industries is moving ahead with its mandate to promote artists on the island. Now that jazz and carnival have been wrapped up, a series of training sessions to build capacity have been planned for performers. We hear more in this report.
In keeping with the momentum of the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival and Carnival, the Ministry of the Creative Industries is set to embark on the second phase of its National Performance Program.
The first is that we want to manage the expansion of the program. We are looking at the other coast, Dennery, Miku, and so on, to see what other venues we could probably target to sort of set up the program in collaboration with the community. Also, canneries, they have been making contact with us and expressing interest with regard to setting up the program there. And also in the outer edges of Babono and Moshi in terms of the north. This is supposed to be an island-wide program, but the one thing that has come through the focus groups is a concerted call for training.
According to Creative Industries consultant Christopher Hunt, a series of training programs will be conducted from September to December in an effort to develop the creative product. One of the areas that the ministry believes needs attention is the financial management of artists.
We are liaising with the banks, the indigenous banks on island, to have training seminars in financial management. One of the major things that we have an issue with in terms of the culture of the creative sector is that even when artists are making money, whether it's music, dance, poetry, theater, stage management, you name it, there's a poor fiscal management component that seems to be almost, people think it's almost endemic for that sector, and we need to get over that hurdle. So we want to make sure that people learn through the banking process, through another set of rigorous workshops with the banks, how to manage their money, how to cost their labor properly, how to make sure that if they go around and they're making television ads and they're winning competitions and prizes and they're traveling and they're doing shows, they're seeing contracts and everything, and they are driving the economy, that they themselves are not left out.
The Ministry of the Creative Industries also plans to move forward with international branding and market penetration. Its first external assignment is Carifesta, to be held in Suriname from the 16th to the 27th of August.
Carifesta is coming. We are going to be sending a large contingent representing in film, dance, poetry, theater, music, arts and crafts, visual and otherwise. And we are also going to be sending a documentation team to make sure that people understand what it is that is going on. It's not enough anymore to just send people overseas or to have some degree of touring or market penetration or branding. But we want to show the branding efforts from behind the scenes and all the way through. So there will be that added element for Carifesta.
The ministry also hopes to penetrate first world markets, including the US and Canada, with touring programs for local artists. For the CTV News, I am Jessie Leon.
Stay with us. When we come back, after months of unrest within the fishing sector, the Fish Marketing Corporation makes good on a promise. Welcome back to the CTV News on Calabash TV. After months of unrest within the fishing circles due to late payments from the St. Lucia Fish Marketing Corporation, fishermen are now relieved with consistent payments being made. Details now in this report.
According to the general manager of the St. Lucia Fish Marketing Corporation, the steady flow of payments to fishermen have kept their quarrels at bay. This has been made possible due to the injection of capital from the government and incoming major clients, thus more consistent sales from the $3.2 million worth of fish that had been in storage.
you would have realized that they have not been calling you or they have not been taken to the airwaves. So it means that they're quite satisfied with what we've been able to do. The landings have decreased significantly, so the sale of fish at our outlets have increased, and therefore that has allowed us a little more cash flow to enable us to continue to make payments to them. We've been able to establish some large customers, and we've been working with them, providing them with the necessary requirements, whether it's steak, filet, or other types of cuts. We've been able to provide them with that, and that has increased our market share. So hopefully things are looking up for Fish Marketing Corporation. And maybe next year we will not have the similar situation, because we are working on putting systems in place to ensure this does not happen.
The system of payment that the Fish Marketing Corporation has devised with the Library Credit Union, whereby fishermen are paid by the union and later reimbursed by the corporation, is one that saw much success. The general manager hopes to implement the system with other credit unions on island.
We also working with the National Farmers Credit Union in the south to see if we can enter into a similar arrangement with Viewfort and also Dennery. And this is why I said we're hoping that next year we would not have a repetition of what took place this year, because we want to put a system in place that would provide the necessary support to the fishermen and to us, something that would be mutually beneficial to both parties.
To date, the St. Lucia Fish Marketing Corporation has eliminated its debt, having made payments to fishermen to the sum of $1.4 million and continues to make bi-weekly payments to them. For the CTV News, I am Jessie Leonce.
The National Insurance Corporation, the NIC, says it is clarifying the issues surrounding its position on the current industrial unrest being experienced within the organization. The NIC, in keeping with good management practice, it says, conducted a reclassification exercise which was completed last year, the aim of which was to upgrade its job classification plan. While the NIC says it is aware that reclassification is a management right and not that of any union, in a true spirit of partnership, it engaged the National Workers' Union throughout the process, providing it the opportunity to comment on the terms of reference, the consultant selected who in turn engaged the union in the consultation process, and the reclassification report. The feedback from the union was incorporated into the final report approved by the NIC Board of Directors. The organization says as it prepares to implement the reclassification exercise, the NWU has continued to disregard the rights of management as contained in the collective agreement between the parties. At this late stage, the union is seeking to introduce non-compensable factors such as length of service, which is not considered in a reclassification exercise. In June, an agreement to end the impasse was reached at the Labor Department, which the union reneged on a few days later, demanding that the NIC issue the private and personal information of staff without the written permission of the staff members. To accede to this, according to the NIC, would be a violation of the NIC's responsibility as regards to confidentiality of staff information and would set an undesirable precedent with respect to confidentiality of employment records and data protection. Recruits of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force have finished their community development activity. The group took up a home construction project for a family which lost its home due to fire late last year.
As promised, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force officially handed over the keys of a brand new house in Rock Hall to the Casabon family who lost their home last year to a fire. The force's latest entrance, approximately 60 recruits, took up the project months ago as their community development activity, all having a hand in building the structure from the ground up. The outreach project is used to not only lend a helping hand to citizens in need, but serves as a lesson to the recruits as to the significance of community policing.
The recruits needs to be commended, the commandant of the institution needs to be commended, and everybody who have been involved in making this project a reality today, notwithstanding. I know the instructors have worked hard in terms of trying to source the funds to have the building up to the level it is today. So I need to mention that so that the acknowledgement can go to them and the students, of course, for the free. The recruits work assiduously to get this building up to the standard that it is today, and I'm hoping that it will bring some form of comfort to the Kazobo family.
We lived in this house for a couple of years, and last year, October, on the 28th, the house was engulfed in flames, and after which we were approached by the police force, who were grateful enough to assist us in rebuilding our home in just a few months after, and we're very thankful for it.
Well, I just want to give a special thanks to everybody who makes it possible, and especially because most of the guys to the back there, I've known them, and I really want to give thanks to all of them for making me have this place right now.
While the recruits built the home, material was donated and monetary support was given by corporate entities, including the Demerara Life Mutual Insurance Company. For the CTV News, I am Jessie Leonce.
The Chief Executive Officer of LIAT, Ian Burton, says the company is taking urgent and decisive steps to address a series of challenges which have resulted in numerous flight delays and cancellations over the past few weeks. In a statement Wednesday, Brunton apologized for the inconvenience caused to the airline's customers and assured those currently being affected that every effort is being made to get them on their various destinations safely and as quickly as possible. He said LIAT is implementing both short and long-term fixes to alleviate the problems which have resulted in a severe strain on the airline's operations. The months of July and August are usually two of the busiest for LIAT, with high volumes of vacationers and other people making trips during the summer period. But Brunton said due to the current challenges, the airline has been unable to transport several customers to their various destinations in a timely manner. And now for a check on what's happening to us weather-wise. Welcome back. The Miss Grosley Carnival Queen Pageant takes place Sunday at the Gaiety on Rodney Bay. The show is intended to continue the carnival spirit and to highlight the beauty, talent and personality of the various communities within the town of Grosley. 8 young ladies have been preparing for this weekend's pageant, and Calabash TV begins its introduction of the competitors to you. We will feature 3 of the Fantastic 8. They are Andy William, Novella Saint-Segis, and Charlene Mohammed.
My name is Andy William. I am representing Mr. Hillary's Taxi and Transportation Services. I enjoy reading, swimming, any fun activities, and I also love socializing and meeting new people. Funny enough, I was auditioning for Safari Promotions. That's a modeling company owned by Consuelo. And her mom saw me in swimwear, and she told me when I was leaving, "Wow, you have a beautiful body. Would you mind trying out for Miss Grosley Carnival Queen?" So I said, I'll think about it, because I'd never done pageantry before. It wasn't something I was too keen on. When I went home, the day of the auditions, I never went because I hadn't made up my mind yet. And she called and said, "Well, why didn't you come to the auditions? You know, we're having another one. So I wanted to come to that one, and I decided, well, okay, I'll try out. And I went, and they chose me to be one of the contestants. And here I am. Now I've made up my mind. At first, I wasn't really, into the competitive mode. I hadn't gone in that mode yet until I met my sponsor. And I think that he's put so much behind it, and he has so much faith in me that I should make him proud, and that's what I plan to do.
Hello, St. Lucia. I am Novella Saint-Segis, proudly representing Bossy Grosley. Currently employed at CIE Limited and proudly sponsored by HTS St. Lucia Radio 100. Well, first I was contacted by one of the committee members. I wasn't too keen about doing it, but then I thought again, and then she really pressured me into doing it. Well, not pressure, but she pushed me because I think she probably found that I had what it takes. So then I was like, okay, well, maybe I should try it, see where it takes me, see what I can do. I'm doing a course in travel and tourism, my diploma, and I want to become an air hostess. So I have a feel for adventure. I don't like to stay one place and do the same thing all the time. I like to be different places, even if I could put one foot in a different direction, and that's me. I don't like being in one place, that's dull and boring, no.
I am 21-year-old Charlene Mohammed from the community of Corinth, proudly sponsored by Andres Dental Lab and Clinic Services located Vidbute and Marianne Street in Castries. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. As a little girl, my parents moved to St. Lucia, where I was raised in Laclery and then moved to Corinth. I attended the Castries Comprehensive. I furthered my studies in travel and tourism at the Sir Arthur Community College. I am now a water sports administrator at the Land in St. Lucia. I am looking forward to being at the front desk, which I'm currently training for. I love dance. I'm part of Stars Incorporated. We do fire eating and limbo dancing, basically at the hotels. And I'm also a senior member of the Safari Promotion Group.
I don't want to be typical here when I say this, but it's going to be spectacular. There are going to be so many surprises and so much to show, really, because all the girls are different and they have their own pizzazz they bring to the show, and everybody will want to see what they have to offer, apart from looking beautiful, of course.
Come see us and showcase our talents and what we have to offer.
You don't want to miss the captivating 8 as they showcase their talent, poise, and intelligence. Thank you.
And we will meet 3 more contestants on the Miss Grocery Carnival Queen Pageant in Thursday night's newscast. And that's where we come to the end of the CTV News. We want to thank you so much for watching. I'm Lisa Joseph, as always, saying goodbye until we meet next time.